Earlier in the month, Iran's Prime Minister, Emir Abbas Hoveyda, came to Washington. And now, the red carpet is out for the final White House state visit of the Johnson administration. It was the first state visit to Washington by the Emir of Kuwait, Sheikh Sabah Al-Salim Al-Sabah. As a part of the president's welcoming ceremonies on the South Lawn, the Emir received a 21-gun salute. The last head of state dinner of the Johnson administration was filled with nostalgia and memories. The ceremonial functions and prior arrangements for this crowning event were typical of all state dinners held in this house. Preparations were begun well in advance, enlisting the talents of a wide range of specialists, from the American Embassy in Al-Kuwait to the flower room in the White House basement. Rusty Young, the mansion's florist, has assembled great bouquets of fresh flowers for the reception rooms and centerpieces for the banquet tables. The White House calligraphers hard at work. They are responsible for handwriting invitations as well as place cards for each of the 140 guests invited to dinner. The office of Mrs. Tyler Abel, White House Social Secretary, a very important nerve center for the First Family's social and diplomatic activities. With the First Family, she coordinates invitation lists, menus, entertainment, and hundreds of other ingredients of the state visit with the staff and the First Lady. For this occasion, Mrs. Johnson chose to feature the China service recently acquired by the White House, depicting the wild flowers of America. Around the china, beautiful stemware, damask napkins, embossed with the president's seal, and the four-course dinner menu, which included breast of pheasant smitan and awatef Bavarian, a dessert named in honor of the Kuwaiti ambassador's daughter. Just below the state dining room is the kitchen. White House chef Henry Haller busy at work with his staff. Providing entertainment at White House social functions is a custom dating back to the administration of William Howard Taft. It is richly varied, depending on the guest of honor. The magic moment arrived when White House military aides began receiving guests at the diplomatic reception room, just off the South Lawn entrance. And at 8 p.m., word was passed along that the official guest was on his way from Blair House to meet President and Mrs. Johnson at the front entrance under the north portico, accompanied by the ambassador of Kuwait and Mrs. Al Hussein and Washington's chief of protocol and Mrs. Tyler Abel. After posing for photographs, the official party was escorted upstairs to sign the guest book and to exchange gifts in the yellow Oval Room. For the formal state gift, President and Mrs. Johnson presented their guest a silver desk set. For a personality gift, they gave a portable shortwave radio. Also, there was a gold bowl and candlesticks for his daughter and son-in-law. The Emir presented Mrs. Johnson with a silver tea service and an antique chest. President Johnson received the model of a trading vessel, a traditional Kuwait gift. Afterwards, the president's party descended the grand staircase to pause for the official photograph. The receiving line was formed in the East Room, first by protocol, then in alphabetical order. At the head of the line, President and Mrs. Johnson, who have had long experience in receiving guests and making them feel at home. They are presenting to the guest of honor a rich mixture of the leading citizens of the United States, dignitaries, friends of the first family, and persons having a strong interest in the visitor's home country, all gathered together in the most refined and pleasing side of diplomacy. And now, dinner is about to be served in the state dining room. Mrs. Johnson was seated with the Emir of Kuwait. And across the room, the president was joined by Mrs. Al Hussein, and on his left, Mrs. Birch Bai, wife of the senator from Indiana. The seating arrangement is carefully worked out by the First Lady, the Social Secretary, and the Chief of Protocol. 60 state dinners and 40 state luncheons for chancellors, kings, shahs, presidents, prime ministers, and emirs. The Johnsons have rolled out a generous welcome mat in their 5 years at the White House, making friends personally, but more importantly, friends for the United States.
We're all pleased that you could be here to share this evening with us. This is the last of these happy occasions, the state visits that I shall attend here in the White House. So it's with great pleasure that Mayor Johnson and I have the privilege of being here with the leading citizens from throughout this nation, from all of its 50 states. And I should like to ask all of you, ladies and gentlemen, to join me in a toast to our honored guest, the Amir of Kuwait.
And tonight, the President and I are feeling very nostalgic because this is the last, sir, of the state dinners that we have had in these 5 years. And so we have asked back the entertainers, the very talented entertainers who gave us a memorable evening when we had our first state dinner. It was Robert Merrill, the baritone of the Metropolitan Opera, and the Christie Minstrels, bright, gay young singers. So we'll begin with Robert Merrill.
Tout d'un coup, on fait silence, à que se passe-t-il? Plus de puissance, l'autoroute s'élance à mon histoire taril. Il s'élance, et rentre le brave, à cheval roule, à traîner à picador. Ah, bravo, tonne, et là, la foule, le tonne va bien, et bravo, corps, sotto, c'est pas de rire, venne finire pour le cirque est plein de sang. Oh, ce s'offre si les grilles, c'est au tour maintenant. Allons, en garde, allons, allons, oh, en garde, adore. Et songez bien, oui, songez combattant, que les noirs te regardent, et que l'autre adore. L'amour, tata, toreador, là-haut, là-haut.
We don't do protest songs for a couple of reasons. First of all, we're not mad at anybody. And I think most important, we're really tired of seeing people in dirty clothes singing about hard work they've never done and wars they've never fought in. And we'd like to ask you now to join in and sing along with us on a song that we've adopted as our very own Christie Minstrel National Anthem. It's a song that not only pertains to our country and our land, but we've performed this all over the entire world, and the response was fantastic. Now, if you're not sure of the lyrics, I'm going to be really upset, but if you're not sure, just listen the first time through. You can get them first time, and then just jump right in there, stomping your feet and clapping your hands, and just let yourselves go within reason. And we want to hear each and every one of you now from the bottom of your hearts. Let's raise the roof right off this place. Are you ready? This land is your land. This land is my land. Everybody from California to the New York Islands, from the Redwood Forest to the Gulf Stream water. This land was made for you and me. As I went walking that river of highway, I saw above me that endless skyway. I saw below me that rolling valley. Yeah. This land was made for you and me. This land is your land. This land is my land. From California to the New York Islands.
By the time the entertainment was over, it was nearly 11. And the Emir said goodnight to his hosts and departed for a night of rest at Blair House. But the party was far from over. Later that evening, the Johnsons found great enjoyment in a familiar song performed by Cab Calloway.
We shall always love this town. We came here in the high elation of the New Deal, when Tommy Corcoran and Ben Cohen were bustling in and out of the West Wing, and so many hopes of the nation were in the briefcases they were carrying up to the Hill. As a nation, we began to care. And that, my friends, I have found is what really makes the difference. For the man of that house to care.